FM 104.9 Fairfield area weather for today, a 90% chance for rain and a high today of 52. Cloudy tonight with a low of 32. Sunny skies tomorrow. Tomorrow's high 58. Outlook for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Cloudy on Sunday, a high of 58 and low of 40. Sunny on Monday, a high of 65 and low of 48. And Tuesday will be sunny with a high of 68 and a low of 42. Yesterday in Fairfield, our high temperature, it was 58. The overnight low, 45. It's currently 48 in Fairfield. And reporting for WFIW News, I'm Tom Levine.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Tom Levine there, Mike Dreeth here. We've got the old Bobcat. We got Jeff Vaughn here, A.N. Make sure you put that. Make sure you put that in there. Good morning, Jeff. How are you?
As God intended.
Indeed.
Glad you could join us.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Well, of course, the monster under the bed, the elephant in the room. We got our first positive test yesterday afternoon. And here's the things that I think are important. First of all, identified as a 30-ish female.
Right.
We believe we know who she is because she posted in social media, but we're not using her name because we don't do stuff like that.
She self-identified, yes.
So, but she came out on social media and said, "It's me. I've had some high fevers."
Mm-hmm.
Other facts, if we're to, and I believe that social media post to be true.
Mm-hmm.
She works out of the county but lives in the county, and Clark Griffith was very clear with me yesterday afternoon. I'm talking to him. He answered while he was driving. He had to pull off the side of the road to talk to me. They believe they've got everybody that she associates with under the same quarantine. Yes, notified under quarantine.
Okay. So
I don't think there's a lot to be horribly concerned about as far as the rest of the population at this point.
Okay.
Our prayers for her and her family.
Her family, yeah.
So that they can come through this. But I'm going to be really honest. I got a guy gave me a shot when we put the announcement on Facebook yesterday about 4. About, well, I guess that means you're going to start wearing a mask. Listen, you, Tom, you, Jeff, Mark Turner, Double D, and my wife. Those are the only people I see.
So if one of us gets it,
then I'm in trouble.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
But, Tom sees more people.
Sure.
And I see more people.
I understand.
Okay, well.
I'm just not.
Technically, I guess I see people. So.
I'm not yet convinced to completely retreat into the man cave, and I'm not yet convinced. I don't go out. My understanding is the mask is for me to keep from infecting you.
Yes. I believe that is the case.
So are you guys either threatened by me by virtue? No. Okay,
daily.
As a risk for coronavirus, no.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Everything.
For years.
Everything shut down at once yesterday. I mean, it all shut down at first. I thought that the news, and we had 150 shares when we put the first notice on Facebook and went on the air about it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was that the news had brought down the internet in Fairfield. Truthfully.
No.
But it was really...
We're going to stop this spread right now.
It really was a fiber-seeking backhoe, apparently.
Yes.
Out here near the water plant. So anyway, immediately TV went down, cable went down, internet, even the power went down for a while. Did you go out of power?
We did not have power.
Really?
We had. It was very weird because some lights were very dim and some lights not at all. And the refrigerator kept making this noise.
Well, you had to get in there and unplug it then.
I went and flipped the switch back at the breaker box. So
I know a lot of you are dependent on media to be able. I know I am. I'm dependent on the internet. If it's either the internet or poor Carol who has to put up with me to keep me entertained. And so without the media, I'm lost at this time. You know what I mean? And you're welcome to join us this morning. We're going to do our regular shtick. But if you need to talk to somebody, if you need to, we can give you as much information as we can give you. We're not going to. Again, our prayers to the person that tested positive, but we're not going to go deeper into that person's personal life, right?
Right now.
Right now, yeah. I mean, if they're interested,
We are. Let's put it this way. You remember that scene in Ghostbusters where they get their first case?
yes.
Okay, we're not Annie Potts in that scene.
And what did Annie say?
She was like, she pressed the button, she jumped up, and she yelled, "We got one!"
Yes, we did. We've got one. There's no doubt about that.
No.
You might want to talk. You can 842-3715 if you want to give us a call. I've got myself a stout cup of Highlander grog. Compliments of Simply Enough. Denise and I bought a big bag of it. And let me tell you something. It's stout.
Tasty.
It's tasty and it's stout. By the way, Jeff, I was going to tell you.
Can you stand a spoon up in that?
Yes, you can. Yeah, well, I mean, I just I chew on it. There was a story yesterday, and I was just going to tell you about it. It looks like there was some sort of dispute with the state about selling plants and seeds.
Garden seeds, yeah.
And apparently, Darren Bailey got involved in the whole thing, and the governor changed his mind, or the state changed its mind. But I think it was involving Tractor Supply up in Effingham, Mattoon.
In another state, the governor has cordoned off all areas of stores.
Why?
I don't know. And I don't think she will explain it either. I don't think she's explained it yet either. But garden seeds are one of those things that are deemed non-essential and not sellable.
Oh, I know,
Yeah,
but there's lots of things like that. I mean,
but if you're out gardening, you're outside and by yourself.
Yes,
it's not a joint. It's not a group activity.
Actually,
you could make
you
a group
could.
activity.
It's
You
the
can make
group
about
garden.
anything a group activity. Victory garden, freedom tree. So
a gang planting.
We're gonna assault that soil. We're gonna take that garden.
Well, a lot of people, that's their therapy. That's
Well, yeah.
I mean, if I go crazy because I don't have the internet, some people could go crazy because they can't go out and get their hands dirty.
Right. So.
So,
All right.
all right. Well, I've got the old bucket in my hand.
Bucket of bunk. Bucket of bunk.
That's mighty fine singing.
I had forgotten.
You got me rocking and a rolling, rocking and a reason for the bunk.
I
Oh,
forgot
the
how
old-
bad that is.
The old Bobcat. You can hear him. He takes the high notes.
But literally, not the worst one we have.
Oh no. We
No,
could play one
no,
with
it's,
you that.
it's not the worst one we have, but man, that's not saying a whole lot.
By the
It's
way-
just not good.
It's not good indeed.
We're operating here. I'm just so happy to be here.
Well, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here.
Happy to be out of the house.
I'm happy
as
to
they
be
say.
here. Birthdays today. William Holden.
Oh, yeah?
William Holden died in 1981 at the age of 63, which is very poignant to me. I'm 2 weeks away from that age, and so it's very. Did you know that William Holden was born in O'Fallon, Illinois?
I did not know that.
Yes, his name was William Franklin Beadle Jr. Of course, he changed it to Holden.
Oh.
He's one of the biggest box office stars of the 1950s. He won the Oscar for Best Actor in the film Stalag 17 in 1953. That's a classic. It's a great movie. He also was involved in a film called The Blue Knight in 1973. He was one of the top 10 stars of the year 6 times between 1954 and 1961, and named one of the 25 greatest male stars of classic Hollywood cinema. He was best man at the wedding of Ronald Reagan, his friend, and Nancy Davis in 1952.
Oh.
He was a registered Republican, but he never got himself involved in politics. Here's what he did get himself involved in. He got himself involved in being married for 30 years, but running around on the missus. He had a brief affair with Audrey Hepburn during the filming of Sabrina. People say, "How do you know that, Mike?" She told me. Audrey gave me an email.
That's right.
Now, in 1954, his life concluded with a 9-year relationship with Stephanie Powers.
Yeah, that's right.
You remember?
Yeah. From Heart to Heart.
Yes. Beautiful woman. So she was
Do you
with him.
not remember Heart to Heart?
Does Sabrina have Harrison Ford in it?
No.
No, there have been several Sabrinas.
There was a remake of Sabrina with Harrison Ford in it.
There was also one
Okay, that's-
with...
No, I have no idea what
Astaire?
you're talking about, but that one rung a bell.
there might be
but it was
three.
a different Sabrina.
There might be 3 Sabrinas. Look at that.
That wasn't the teenaged witch.
No, it's not
no.
that.
That one was a joke. I realize that isn't what you're talking about.
It's interesting, the different generational perspectives,
Yeah,
isn't it, Tom?
Can we have some more Shrek trivia later today so that
We'll do that for
so
you.
I can feel more comfortable?
I guarantee you, I tell you, you will not know this next guy. His name was Don Kirshner. He died in 2011 at the age
Hi,
of 76.
This is Don Kushner. Welcome to Don Kushner's Rock Concert.
There you go. Rock concert was his big thing. He was once described by Time magazine as the man with the golden ear. As an American music producer, he's the guy that brought together the Monkees.
Yeah.
And the rock group Kansas was his doing.
Baby, yeah.
And the Archies. Now, the Archies were nothing more than a cartoon strip. And they were studio artists playing.
Yeah.
But they had, I'll never forget, I don't know what year it was, late 60s, early 70s. I was 11, 12, 13 years old. And I was listening to the Big 630, KXOK,
Okay.
St. Louis. And it was a top 40 station. And they were doing on December 31st, they were doing the countdown of the biggest songs of the year, the top 50. Okay? And I had an interesting taste for rock music. And I kept thinking, well, I know which one's going to be number one. I know which one's going to be number one. And when it got to number one, and it was the Archies, Sugar, Sugar, I blew my stack at 11:59.
How can that be?
At midnight, I'm fuming in my room. How could you pick Sugar, Sugar?
I stayed up all night
Yeah.
for this.
It was,
I would have thought the same thing.
I bet you would have. Members of the Monkees, they revolted against Kirshner because he wouldn't let them play their own music.
Yeah.
Okay, they were actors. They did eventually play their own music, but it all came to a close when they got into it over a Neil Diamond penned. And Kirshner, he went out and got all of the big writers to write for the studio group that was the Monkees. And it all came to a head on a Neil Diamond penned music song called A Little Bit Me, A Little Bit You in 1967. That did it. The Monkees said, that's it. We're done.
We're not recording like this anymore. Doing it ourselves.
We're not going to do this with you, Don. Kirshner later had the Archies, an animated series where there were only studio musicians to be managed. He had Don Kirshner's rock concert, long form live performance compared to the rehearsed and lip synced stuff that you'd see before that, and that came to an end in 1981 because of what? What happened in 1981?
Oh, it's the hostage situation
Nope.
in Iran.
MTV. MTV put rock concert out of.
Actually, I thought rock concert got put out to the pasture because of SNL in like '76.
Wow, that would have been. This is what.
This is what your research shows.
Yes, and it's a very good authority, Wikipedia.
You know, anyone can put anything
Got an
about
email.
anyone on Wikipedia. That's how you know you're getting the
know.
best information.
Got an email from Don himself.
Yes, he and Audrey Hepburn. Jennifer Ann Garner is 48 today. Jennifer Garner. Now, there's an attractive woman. Following a supporting role in Pearl Harbor in 2001, she gained recognition for her performance as CIA officer Sidney Bristow in the ABC spy action thriller Alias.
Right.
That's where we got to know her better. After Alias, she was in the movie Catch Me If You Can in 2002.
Just barely.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like
But not that
7
much?
minutes max.
Y-
Maybe
would
even
know.
3.
Right.
You would know.
That's a great movie. It's a fantastic movie.
She was
Tom
also
Hanks' vehicle.
she was also in Daredevil. Now, she was in that more
oh,
often,
yeah, she
right?
was a Daredevil.
She was
Okay.
in Daredevil.
She might have had a
Elec-
movie of her own on that.
did,
Wasn't she an
it-
Elektra?
Elektra,
based on
yes,
that? Yeah.
2005. That's and also the comedy drama Juno, which was really acclaimed in 2007. She was briefly married early in her life, and then she started dating Ben Affleck in mid-2004, establishing a relationship in Pearl Harbor and Daredevil. They were married in 2005. They had 3 kids. They were married in Turks and Caicos. I always loved the name of that, Turks and Caicos.
Turks and Caicos.
They have 3 children.
What are you having for dinner tonight? Turks and
Turks.
Caicos.
I'll take the Turks. You can have the Caicos. Anyway, they both have custody of their 3 kids. In 2018, she started dating a businessman by the name of Miller. On this date, April 17th, 1964, the Ford Motor Company unveiled a new Mustang model.
The new Mustang.
1967, the U.S. Supreme Court barred Muhammad Ali's request to be blocked from induction into the U.S. Army. And that set off a series of events. It was on this date, and was a most disturbing day, 1969. Sirhan Sirhan convicted of assassinating Senator Robert F. Kennedy. Kennedy had just won the California primary, and I think his last words, now on to Illinois. He was the primary was going to be here next, and he would have been the nominee, I think,
Right.
if he hadn't been killed. On this date in 1970, Apollo 13 returned safely to Earth. Tom Hanks was
Yeah,
safe.
It's another great movie.
Yes. Apollo 13.
I have to say, Jeff, if that's on, at any point during it, I know I've seen it 40 times, I will watch it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm-
At any point, because you know what, pretty much the beginning.
I
you know
love-
pretty
It's
much
got a
the end.
great
It's
cast
like-
in it, too.
It's
I
like
mean,
the
outside
right
of Tom
stuff.
Hanks.
You got to watch that one too.
Who's that?
The Right Stuff.
That's another great one. That's another great one. All right.
Similar vein. Have you not watched The Right Stuff?
Sounds great.
So it was
It's
based on
actually
a
The
book.
Right Stuff.
It was based on a book. John Glenn was significant, and that was the first group of astronauts
Right.
that they picked in the late 1950s and early 60s for the Mercury program in Germany.
The Mercury program. Yeah.
1964, the FBI lab reported that it could not determine the lyrics to the song Louie Louie.
Oh, we know that's what you say you're saying, but that's not what we know you're saying.
64. And of course, that song got banned on a lot
Right,
of radio
yeah.
stations because they thought they were trying to put something over
Right.
on radio stations. And so they sent it to the FBI lab.
There's a guy down in the basement of the FBI lab, beyond the gift shop.
I'm
and he's got headphones
Yeah.
on.
I have no idea.
Back it up.
Maybe it means something backwards, I have no doubt that same guy's down there, and he's got one of my commentaries.
He's got it pressed into vinyl. and
Somebody
he's
has sent
got
it to him and said, "Tell me what this means." All right, 1970, the Man in Black, Johnny Cash,
Johnny Cash.
performed at the White House at the invitation of President Richard M. Nixon. What do you think he played?
Folsom Prison Blues.
Well, he might have, but the
Going to Jackson.
no,
I've been everywhere.
A Boy Named Sue.
A boy named Sue.
Oh, well. How do you do?
Well said. 2002. Yesterday or the day before, we were telling you about that date was the date they exhumed Tammy Wynette's
Right.
body for some reason. Her husband had it
Yeah.
exhumed because I guess he thought there was foul play. In 2002, on this date, Tammy Wynette's 4 daughters reached a confidential agreement with Wynette's doctor over her death. Wynette's daughters filed a lawsuit that claimed the Pittsburgh doctor had contributed to Wynette. Maybe that's the reason why they exhumed the body. Anyway, she died in 1998. It took 4 years for them to figure out and get things squared away as far as the legal action. So, our a very interesting Carnaby Square question of the day. By the way, Carnaby Square is the fashion leader in downtown Fairfield. The question, would you rather be transported 100 years into the future or 100 years into the past? I can't wait to hear what the Bobcat has to say about that. Think about that, buddy. We're going to come back with morning coffee and tell you about that question, the Carnaby Square question of the day. Stay right here.
Hamilton Memorial Family Clinics are here for you now during COVID-19 like we've always been at our clinics in McLeansboro and Carmi. And now, through our virtual care clinic, have a live video chat with your local provider. Ask questions, get a diagnosis, and even get medication prescribed while using your computer, tablet, or smartphone. Also available for behavioral health needs and physical and occupational therapies. Visit hmhospital.org or simply call either of the Hamilton Memorial Clinic locations.
Hey parents, ever find yourself digging for money to send with your kids but figure out you're out of cash? We're introducing the F&B Easy Card. It's a debit card that can help teach the responsibility of managing money and be easily managed with your own banking errands. The best part? You can set custom daily limits like $10 a day and use online and mobile banking to transfer between this account and any other F&B checking account you own. Interested in learning more? Give us a call for details at 842-2107. F&B, member FDIC.
Don't infect. Wash your hands. To stop the spread of infectious diseases, we all need to do our part. Wash your hands after coughing or sneezing, using the bathroom, and before and after preparing or eating food. Wash your hands for at least 20 seconds with soap and water. If you don't have soap and water available, use an alcohol-based sanitizer. Washing your hands gets rid of germs and helps prevent them from spreading. Do your part. Wash your hands thoroughly and often. Sponsored by the Wayne County Health Department. Find them online and on Facebook.
Personal economic stimulus payments are hitting bank accounts right now. In fact, over $18 million will be coming to the households of Wayne County alone. Depending on your situation, you may need those funds for housing, utilities, and food. However, if you plan to spend that money in a different way, we encourage you to think about the thousands of small businesses that are still closed. Waiting to spend those dollars at your favorite local business when it reopens will not only be a huge shot in the arm for them, but for our entire local economy. If it's not a necessity, save your stimulus and shop locally with your friends and neighbors. This message sponsored by TOC Direct Media, audio, print, digital, events, original marketing ideas and programs. On air at WFIW WOKZ Radio. With a little effort, together we can put over $18 million in positive impact into Wayne County.
Hi, this is Bill Stevens with another time capsule quiz. Which month and year was it when the Winter Olympics came to Sarajevo? President Reagan ordered the Marines out of Beirut. Soviet leader Yuri Andropov died. Gary Hart upset Walter Mondale in the first Democratic primary.
Tonight in New Hampshire, we buried the label Dark Horse.
2 astronauts stepped outside the Challenger and took the first untethered spacewalk.
Oh, this is great. Figuring out what the windows wash and everything while I'm up there.
Cale Yarborough got the checkered flag at Daytona for the 2nd straight year. And here's what was new on the radio. All these songs came out together. But when? The answer and a little taste of the top song from the month and year are coming up.
The way we're all going about doing things these days has changed. But one thing that hasn't is Lowe's commitment to our customers. We're here with all the things you need to keep your home running smoothly during this important time. Our stores are open and ready to help. Or you can also order online at Lowe's.com or download our app, and we'll deliver right to your doorstep.
Easter can really spring up on you, can't it? Well, no worries. Walgreens is here for you this holiday. We make it easy to shop and save so that you can build the perfect Easter baskets with all their favorites. Save big on everything Easter, like buy one, get one half off select Easter baskets, toys, and gifts. Easter's on its way, whether you're ready or not. So head to Walgreens to get all their Easter treats in one quick hop. Offer valid with card through April 11th. Restrictions apply.
February 1984.
Van Halen and Jump, the top song of February 1984. This is Bill Stevens for tcapsule.com. Back soon with another time capsule.
Back on Morning Coffee, Jeff Vaughn has
donned the mask.
He's put on a mask. What is the theme of your mask there? If you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see the fashion statement being made by Jeff Vaughn. What's on the outside of that?
Star Wars. It's a Star Wars themed / Lord of the Rings themed reversible mask. You see, my mother was making some masks to donate to the hospital, and also to someone, I forget who. Someone had said that their family was out in California and needed masks or something. I forget who it was, but she was making some, and my sister-in-law happened to have some pretty fashionable fabric at her location, and so I got a special order.
There you go.
So, yeah, I have it. It's been in my truck. I don't generally wear it into work because, if you move your mouth too much, it'll come off. It's threatening to slip and slide away right now.
I see. I see.
So,
well, I don't have a mask.
I hope you feel safer now, though.
Well, I do feel safer from
good.
you.
I understand that I also have intimidated you over the years.
Well, now I feel like I need to get my wallet out.
Yes, please.
As you sit there.
Please don't make a move.
Let me see if I can find a big bill for you. Again, and you went to a couple stores and everybody was wearing masks.
Right.
I don't go to stores. You see, my wife goes. Mm-hmm. I just see you guys.
Oh, okay.
And her. I'll eventually probably have to get a mask. I'm not dogging the masks. Point. I mean, I'm not. I understand.
If you want to wear a mask, wear a mask.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, the Carnaby Square question of the day: would you rather be transported 100 years into the future, or 100 years into the past? We had almost 3,000 people look at this.
Wow.
And there were 269 votes. Mm-hmm. Before I give the results, I'm very interested to hear you and the masked man over here, what you
the Lone Ranger.
What you think about that question. I thought it was a good question. Of course, I'm the one that posed it. So
of course, I put it up.
Yeah,
so
I think it's pretty smart myself.
I think I would go 100 years in the future.
Why?
Why?
Well, you're a technology guy.
Yeah. See what has become of the technology that we created. Because it's very interesting to me that when I was growing up, we said we were going to move toward a paperless society, right?
Yeah.
And
there's no paper in Star Trek. No paper in Star Trek.
Exactly. But really, we have more paper now than we had before.
Well,
there's no. Okay, let me see if I can talk to this guy over here.
Okay.
There's no paper in Star Wars. Right?
Darth Vader wasn't given the, forced death grip to anybody because they hadn't filed their paperwork.
I don't know. There's so much Star Wars media that I'm trying to
You're
comb
trying to think
through.
of if there's any paperwork there.
Yeah, I don't like sweeping statements like that because somewhere in the background there's some jabroni writing on a piece of paper and
Okay, I don't believe. So you want to go 100 years in the future. What about you, Jeff?
Well, I mean, 100 years in the past, I assume you would know, like you would retain your knowledge of
1920
of years.
1920.
I mean, you've got the roaring, but you're just right on the doorstep of the Depression if you assume you're going to, continue living. So I don't know that I would want to go through that.
The Great Depression.
You know,
Well, you're just post-pandemic, 1918, right?
And I mean, World War I just got over a couple of years ago.
But here's the thing. Here's the big thing. You can't drink.
There's no alcohol.
No, prohibition is in place. Now, it doesn't matter to you, but it matters to
me. It's not a problem. I would go in the future. I mean, I realize that Star Wars was a long, long time ago. I don't think 100 years would get me back to laser sword times, I'm afraid.
Okay.
So we'll pick future.
I knew he would come up with some interesting reason why.
Some laser
I could go Lord of the Rings
we're not sure that we're not sure that there would be laser sabers in 100 years. It's probably going to be 200 years down the road. So I won't go into the future.
Phew.
Anyway, the decided winner was past.
Past.
65% of the people wanted past. They wanted to relive.
Okay.
Probably with the information.
Probably practicing up their Charleston.
Probably, thinking when I get to, let's say it's the 1920s, if I could get to, like 50 or 60, I know which places to put money.
Right.
Yeah.
Sort of
like
like Back to the Future
Back to
3.
the Future 2,
Yeah.
wasn't
it?
it?
2? Yes.
The one where everything that can go wrong does go wrong?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that was the plot. And we saw how that worked out. Not well for Biff.
No, Marty came through. Christine says neither one. I've lived in the past and the future. Well, I just pray it gets better fast for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Roger says, I'll take my chances on the future. Remember stories from my grandpa in the 1920s, and they were not pleasant.
Yeah, that was my mindset.
David Savage, 100 years ago, you could see Babe Ruth and Ty Cobb play baseball. So I think he's cast in his lot in the past.
Yeah.
Nina says 100 years.
And get their autographs.
You could. And then it would be worth something if you could zoom back to the future. Nina says 100 years in the future, I won't exist. Well, of course, Nina, that's not the point. The point is you're getting picked up and put in 100 years in the future.
Are you staying there for the duration?
You're asking details.
Well, I mean, you're the one who wrote the question, so you know the answer here. If it's a point in time, then
think about the
if it's a point in time, then the past has a fighting chance. But if you're going to stay there for an extended period, then it's got to be the future, just because of the Great Depression. That's.
You see, it's a real simple question.
Would you rather live 100 years ago or 100 years from now?
I don't think that there should be a list of caveats involved. I can't do that.
Nothing's ever simple. And I know you can't.
Oh, Bobcat. Back in the past, Wilma says. There's a long conversation between Jason and Kathy here.
Okay.
They went back and forth for quite a while. Wayne says, a lot of bad things happened 100 years ago. I rolled the dice on the future being better. Kirk says, past as long as you can retain your knowledge. You see, now he's starting to put the caveats there.
He's investing.
Sounds like
for the future.
Sounds like Jeff.
It's not.
You go back.
That's reasonable. This is a big decision. You have to be informed before you make a choice about going forward or backward a century.
You go back 100 years. You can deposit money into.
That's what I'm saying.
For your future self. So that you can afford the trip back 100 years.
At simple 3 or 4% interest.
It's
I'll tell you what I'm doing.
Economic line.
I'm putting money in masks. That's what I'm doing. That and disinfectant. There's where my money's going. Yeah, toilet paper. Mike says people. Oh yeah, he's thinking my way. Prohibition.
Okay. Prohibition.
No, I don't think so. Mm-hmm. Of course, there was still booze.
Oh, yeah.
There was still booze. You just...
What?
Yes, even during Prohibition. And Corey says...
Okay, that was a joke. just so everyone knows.
They're always great when you have to explain them.
Yeah. Let me explain why that was funny. Corey says, Myra says... World War II was happening close to this time. Actually, it was post-World War I. We still had another 20 years before
But
that.
still, if you're going to be there for an extended period of time, maybe in your lifetime, so that would also factor in. I'm just saying, some of these people thinking about stuff like that. That's
Jeff,
smart.
I took a simple question that did not need to be dissected this way, you see.
But there's nothing simple about it.
Yeah.
You're uprooting an entire life.
Let me tell you about Brian Reitenauer.
Okay.
You know,
before we get all hot and bothered.
Let me just say that Brian knows all about, if you put him 100 years ago, he could build you a furnace. Or air conditioning.
Or first air conditioning.
And it would be the talk of the neighborhood.
That's right.
Because Brian would put together something really good from Rude or Payne, because he'd bring it back with him. You see, in his truck. And maybe even his son, who hasn't been born yet. And he could build you an air conditioning unit or a heating unit that would take care of you economically and be very cost efficient. Much more cost efficient than that potbelly stove that you've got in your living area 100 years ago. He's almost 100 years ahead of anybody, quite honestly. Well, I'm not being honest. But if anybody's ahead of anybody, it's Brian Reitenauer. And he's got Brian Reitenauer, HVAC. He's a Wayne City graduate, Wayne City High. He got out of there before they discontinued school. He got his actual diploma. Anyway, you give Brian a call. You tell him you heard about him on Morning Coffee, and you ask him if he could put together something, maybe 100 years out. 618-214-2593. Brian Reitenauer, HVAC.
There you go. Now, the other night, speaking of questions, we had this wonderful discussion.
This
at our
is
dinner
priceless.
table.
Go ahead.
So this is my daughter's question at the dinner table, and we had quite the discussion on it. And wondering what you think about it. Here's the question. So maybe you can use it as a question today, sometime in the future.
Okay,
not 100 years in the future.
I can't wait to hear what Jeff has to say about this question.
The question is lava wet?
A compelling question, especially
it's a short and sweet question. Is lava wet?
Very, very interesting, since we're 2,000 miles away from the nearest spewing volcano. Here's the thing. Who's going to touch it to find out? Not me. What do you think, Jeff? Oh, you've piqued his intellectual interest.
Well, what?
Thinking about it, even as we speak.
Define wet.
It's liquid. It's liquid.
At times, sure.
It's molten rock. It moves. It's.
I mean, it hardens eventually.
Yes.
And there's a small transitory state between its liquid nature and basalt or whatever rock it will form into. But I mean, define wet. Does it have to involve water? H2O.
How long did this discussion go on around
we're still not up to that
Levine
line.
dinner table? Pass the carrots. I think it's wet.
No.
Dad.
We talked for 10, 15 minutes about
That's
whether water's wet. We also had a secondary question, which
is water wet? That's the next.
Is lava wet?
Ooh, heavy, very heavy.
Here's my thinking on
this.
Okay,
please share.
Matter exists in three forms:
right,
solid, liquid, and gas.
Oh, this would definitely be liquid, right?
This would be a liquid, and therefore wet.
And that's where you're sticking.
That's where I stand on the whole is lava wet issue.
Let's draw this to close. Jeff, are you in agreement or disagreement with that hypothesis?
Just immediate off the cuff reaction would be, just because it's liquid, does that mean that it's wet?
We're not doing this for the next 15 minutes, okay? I think we've
we
exhausted the lava. Oh my goodness, there's somebody wanting to get in on the lava conversation.
Hi, you are on the Morning Coffee Show.
Yeah. You're talking about the lava. Is it wet?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It's not. Why is it not wet?
because in order for something to be wet, there has to be water. And if it's melted rock, there is no water present.
Okay.
Water boils at 212 degrees.
Right.
Rock melts at over 3,000 degrees.
Uh-huh.
I'm with you. Well done. Well thought through.
All right.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for
there
your
you go.
input.
What do you think, Jeff?
I mean, that was my first reaction. I have.
You've Googled it.
I've looked up wet, the definition of wet per Merriam-Webster, consisting of, containing, covered with, or soaked with liquid such as water.
No, okay.
But
So,
it's liquid rock.
Note that had liquid, and so
And not
not
water.
not just water, but it did
Liquid.
specifically point to water. So again, it depends on how you're going to define wet. Do you lean on the liquid portion of it, or do you lean, as I tend to, on the water part of it?
This is why we call it the show about nothing.
And this is why I have not been a guest in over a year.
No, this is wonderful.
This is why
I knew that you would think through that. By
we
the
are
way,
discussing the heavy questions.
What are the two of you?
Wait. What do you think is...
Me?
Yes.
No, it's not
he said
wet.
not wet.
No,
Yeah,
not
he was
wet.
on that.
No. All right. What are you watching right now? You don't have
morning coffee.
No. No. Yes, we are on YouTube right now.
there.
Hello, folks. How are you? No. I mean, what are you watching? You have just what three stations that you watch? You're like back 100 years.
I have over-the-air channels. I don't have satellite or anything like that, but I do have a couple streaming services.
You do?
Yeah.
So what do you watch?
Stream.
Well, I mean, obviously you'll
The Mandalorian.
You'll watch MASH, Home Improvement. I'm a fan of Home Improvement, The Office, Parks and Recreation. The Mandalorian was on Disney Plus. Star Wars: The Clone Wars on
Right.
Disney Plus right now as well. Star Wars Rebels on Disney Plus. I did watch The Witcher on Netflix.
Okay.
Those are based on books. In case you didn't
That
know
is-
that. Cheers.
In case you didn't, wait a minute.
Have you watched Frasier?
Cheers and Frasier. I was getting ready to say
love
Frasier. Frasier's
Yeah.
fantastic.
I'm
Serious Charles Winchester vibes from Frasier. So
Yes. I can see
There
that.
are some that suggest that I remind them
it's got to be.
of Kelsey Grammer. I'm just saying that.
We are watching Bob Newhart show on
Oh,
Hulu.
that's a great one.
Ooh, one more. Got to
Okay.
plug Monk. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna get it. We're gonna try that
Fantastic
because we really
show.
do like him.
Have you
Right
seen
now-
Psych?
No.
Psych is very
watch
good also.
watch Psych as well.
Okay. Well, we're gonna watch Monk because
They went back to back for years.
we're watching the marvelous Mrs. Maisel right now,
Okay.
and he is a star and
Shalhoub?
very funny.
Tony Shalhoub, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
And the episode where Willie Nelson comes and is
That
on
was
Monk,
I saw that one
was
yesterday.
the greatest
I saw it
episode.
yesterday.
I'm gonna have to watch that.
And then
It's better than the
later in the same season, I think,
Snoop Dogg
Snoop
comes
Dogg
on. Yeah.
has a cameo.
Willie Nelson is much better than Snoop Dogg's.
I'll have to watch that. What else? You're watching Newhart.
We're watching Newhart. We are also watching not Home Improvement, but the
Last Man Standing.
For hour-long shows, for my birthday, my wife bought me the first 3 seasons of NCIS New Orleans on DVD. So,
Really?
So we still had TV last night.
Okay. No. Well, we
even though
didn't have. We didn't have TV. Now, I revealed that I was a huge fan of Longmire. Huge fan. And then we tried to find something else.
Right.
And we've struck out on a number of them.
Right.
The one I hung in there, I was hanging hard into Ozark.
Right.
Okay.
Hoping for the best.
I mean, normally it only takes 2 episodes for me to decide whether or not I'm staying or not.
Right.
And Carol was so patient with me because I went to 7 episodes before I looked at her at the end of the 7th episode and said, I just can't do this anymore. And she said, thank God. I thought that at episode 2, but I thought you wanted to keep watching it, and I did. There is not one person in that show, and the people that say it's great, God bless you, continue to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
There's not one person in there that you don't want to see get theirs. I mean, I
So-
can't embrace
Is that what
anybody.
they're going for? Though?
Have you,
Yes,
Well, then-
absolutely.
there you go.
have you watched Arrested Development.
Yes, I've watched some of it, and it's pretty good.
Yes, Jason Bateman's in that.
And that one as well. You're right, Jeff. That's what they're going for. And I find it disturbing and depressing,
cheer.
especially right now in my life, to watch really bad people do really bad things.
Well, one of the
for entertainment.
To go to Star Wars.
Yes.
One of the things that a lot of people wanted from the sequel trilogy was more complex characters. You know, you don't want a character who's just a good character, but they have to have some sort of deep, complex flaw that makes them either more relatable or more real. And I don't subscribe to that. I'm fine with there being archetypes in media like that, where you can have just this is the hero, and they're going to go through struggles, sure, but they're not going to. That was a problem with the new Superman movie too, because he killed the General Zod or whatever, and people are like, oh, but Superman would never kill. Well, that's the way movies are made now. They introduce the deeper. They're trying to start a deeper conversation, and sometimes that can really work, and sometimes
not.
Maybe for you and Ozark, it doesn't work.
It doesn't. But you said something that tickled my my brain.
I'm sorry.
I try to.
It's easier because he has no.
I often watch Star Wars and think, what is the real person behind Jabba the Hutt? I mean, what's really going on there with Jabba? I mean, is he like other Hutts, or is he just?
There a whole family of Hutts?
Yes. I mean, is he the outcast of the Hutt family?
There actually are
Is he
other
start a
Hutts.
restaurant?
There are.
Oh yeah.
Jabba's
several.
just one of the Hutts.
One of many Hutts.
What's going on with Jabba?
They start a restaurant called Pizza Hut.
That's actually in the Mel Brooks version of Star Wars.
That's great.
I believe he eats himself to death while locked in a limousine. Anyway, yeah, they run cartels. The Hutts do.
The Hutts do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad that
I believe their
you've
home
examined
planet
it.
is Nal Hutta, which has a moon of Nar Shaddaa.
I can't believe I opened that.
Yeah, I really can't either. I can't thank you enough, though.
Tom, what do you got?
All right. I need to remind you about a couple of things. Birthday on Sunday, Erica Bradham is going to have a birthday. And also the Fairfield FFA greenhouse is open by appointment only.
They
right
were going to
now.
have a sale in
They're
May,
gonna
weren't they?
They're going to have a sale of May 2nd through the 9th. But if you want, the plants are ready.
Right.
So you can take them home now, but you have to make an appointment. And you can call 499-9542. That will be Sam, and she will take care of you. You can schedule an appointment with her and get into the greenhouse and get first pick of the plants
Wonderful.
from Fairfield FFA.
Is there a bucket of trivia that you could pull something out of?
I do have a bucket of trivia.
What is
the
it about?
State capital.
State
no.
capitals.
No.
The
our
state capital?
State capital.
The
Oh,
state-
no.
You're
state
talking about. Wait, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Wait a minute. Springfield, right?
Yes, Springfield, Illinois.
There we go.
I know.
He
I know
wins.
J.B. Pritzker doesn't know where it is, but
Oh no. Oh no.
all right. Question one.
All right.
Springfield is the capital of Illinois, but it's not the first city to
No,
serve
it's not. I can tell you.
in that capacity.
All right.
How many other cities have served as the capital of
Okay.
Illinois?
Okay. So I can do those towns.
Yeah. And I think I have the wrong answer here. In addition to being the capital of Illinois, Springfield is the county seat of which county?
Okay.
You know, Mike worked in Springfield. for
Yes,
a
I do.
while.
So I know that.
How would one describe the topology of Springfield and the surrounding area? Rugged and mountainous, swampy, hilly and varied, or mostly flat?
Okay.
Number 4, although Springfield is not a large city by most standards, its population has been growing steadily and passed the 100,000 people mark in 1990. All those people use a lot of water. From where does the city of Springfield obtain its water supply?
I know that.
Any idea, Jeff?
No, I've got an idea on the first ones.
Okay. Like many Midwestern cities, Springfield was built around a square. The old square is now called Old State Capitol Plaza. On the south side of the square, near 6th and Adams Street, are the original law offices of which famous American?
That's pretty easy.
Lincoln's tomb is probably Springfield's best-known tourist attraction. What is the name of the cemetery where it's located?
I know that.
Just west of downtown Springfield is a Made-Right sandwich shop. Why is this unassuming restaurant famous?
I should know that. I work downtown.
And Made-Right is delicious. Springfield is home to the Dana Thomas House. I've actually toured the Dana Thomas House.
Yes.
One of the best preserved examples of the early work of which famous architect?
I know that.
Springfield is home to many museums. This is number 9. One of these, located at 629 South 7th Street, is called the Grand Army of the Republic Memorial Museum, and it honors veterans from which conflict? And number 10, in Springfield's historic Washington Park, which is only about a block from where the person who wrote these questions lives, is a famous structure that attracts visitors from around the world. It can be a bit noisy at times. What is it? Those are the questions for today.
Okay.
CRHBC has recently enhanced provider availability at our Fairfield location. Matt Brown is a physician's assistant and Allison Frost is a nurse practitioner and have recently joined our team and are excited to serve you. Both provide a full spectrum of healthcare for all your family members regardless of age. Call 618-842-4470 to schedule your appointment at the Fairfield Community Health Center.
Stay at home in style. Carnaby's Curbside Pickup is here for you. They have carefully shopped the best boutique brands. See something you like on their Facebook page, window, or need a gift? Your personal fashion stylist at Carnaby Square can help. Call ahead and they will have your item bagged on approval. It's like their dressing room in the privacy of your home. Let's call it no contact shopping. Carnaby is delivering and shipping your items too. For 39 years, Carnaby has helped with your life's important dates, Easters, birthdays, anniversaries. They still can wrap up a gift for that special someone. Stronger together.
Southern Illinois Tile and Carpet in Mount Vernon has all your flooring needs. They have a large selection in stock and always give great service. Southern Illinois Tile and Carpet certificates are available on the Big Deal Store.
Are you looking for a bank that still offers free checking? Well, look no further. People's National Bank has your free checking needs covered. This is Heidi Atterbury, relationship banker at People's National Bank in Fairfield. You can open your free checking account with just $100. There's no minimum balance, plus receive unlimited check writing, free online and mobile banking, and free bill pay. Stop by 1001 West Delaware in Fairfield to open your free checking account today. People's National Bank, member FDIC.
Hey, if you live or work in White County, I've got some really exciting news for you. This is Dr. Jessica Cook, physical therapist with Joiner Therapy Services. We now offer pelvic health physical therapy in Carmi, which gives you the choice to receive your treatments locally. Pelvic health issues such as accidental bowel and bladder leakage and pain in the pelvic region can be a nuisance you no longer have to live with. I can provide one-on-one, confidential care in a professional setting with no need for embarrassment. Call us today at 382-2771. Joiner Therapy Services. A healthier you starts here.
It's here. The Big Deal Store is online and waiting for you to shop and buy gift certificates to local businesses. Go to your station's website, WFIWradio.com, and click on Big Deals. Here you'll find dozens of gift certificates for places like Three Chicks Fudgery, Act Tire and Auto, Boyd Furniture and Mattress Center, and Bullard's Farm Market and Bakery. You can shop 24 hours a day and save tons of money in the process. But you better hurry. You never know how long each deal will last.
Radar Weather is sponsored by Conard Financial Group at 510 West Delaware in Fairfield, with securities offered through Raymond James. Conard Financial Group, investing in the community since 2003.
Does your financial future depend on the performance of a single investment? In any type of market, allocating your investments among a variety of assets may help minimize risk. I understand the importance of asset allocation and can design a diversified portfolio based on your risk profile to help you attain your goals. For details, call me, Chris Conard, at 842-7855. That's 842-7855. Raymond James Financial Services, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC. Life well planned.
Time for a look at the radar weather. We got rain stretching from just the other side of Mount Vernon all the way into Indianapolis. Across southern Illinois. Looks like it's going to continue for a little while. Breaking up in Missouri right now and turning to snow just north of Indianapolis and just north of Champaign here in Illinois. That is a look at the radar weather for today here on WFIW.
It's what you've been looking for. WFIW FM.
Wow, I missed a whole bunch there. All right. We are back, and we've
You
got
got
questions on
trivia
the state
answers
of
that we
Illinois.
have to deal with.
All right. So, Springfield is the capital of Illinois, but it's not the first city to serve in that capacity. How many other cities have served as the capital of Illinois?
Two. I would say that before it went to Springfield, it was in Vandalia, and a young representative by the man name of Lincoln helped to move it there.
Yes.
Prior to that, Jeff.
Kaskaskia.
Kaskaskia. That's what it was. I was confused, and I put Shawneetown. All right.
No.
Thank you.
In addition to being the capital of Illinois, Springfield is the county seat of which county?
That's really easy.
Okay.
It's got to be Sangamon, right?
Sangamon. How would you describe the topography of Springfield and the surrounding area? Recommend mountainous, swampy, hilly, and varied, or mostly flat?
Mostly flat.
Mostly flat. Although Springfield is not a large city by most standards, its population has been growing steadily and passed the 100,000 mark in 1990. All those people use a lot of water. Where do they get that water from?
I would say Lake Springfield.
Lake Springfield is correct.
Well, you see, should have just guessed. You would have gotten it right.
Yes, you could have.
Lake Fairfield?
No, the other answer might have been the Sangamon River. But.
And, by the way, Lake Springfield,
Yeah.
I've tested it. It's wet. Like many Midwestern cities, Springfield was built around a square. The old square is now called the Old State Capitol Plaza. On the south side of the square, near 6th and Adams Street, are the original law office of which famous American?
Well, it's the Lincoln Herndon law offices.
Lincoln Herndon law offices, yeah. Lincoln's tomb is probably Springfield's best-known tourist attraction. What's the name of the cemetery where it's located?
Oak Ridge.
Oak Ridge Cemetery.
You know, they finally, I think they repaired his nose because people would rub on the nose, and he started looking different. Okay.
He looked like he had acne.
Had a flat nose, yeah.
I think they do that regularly. Just west of downtown Springfield is the Maid-Rite Sandwich Shop. Why is this unassuming restaurant famous?
I don't know.
I know
When
Marcus
worked
said
downtown.
that. Is it something like Sloppy Joe's or something like
Yeah,
that?
that's what a Maid-Rite is, Sloppy Joe.
Is that
Okay.
it? Well,
That's not why it's famous.
Yeah,
No,
that's-
horseshoe?
I know that Mark's mentioned it. What is it?
It is the world's first drive-through restaurant.
Oh,
How
I
about
didn't
that?
know that. No, I didn't know.
Not the Cozy Dog, it's the Maid-Rite.
I tell you what, they make some mighty fine horseshoes in Springfield too.
Yeah, horseshoe, yeah. Springfield is home to the Dana Thomas House, one of the best preserved examples of the early work of which famous architect?
It's got to be right.
Frank
correct?
Lloyd
Frank
Wright.
It's
Lloyd
the
Wright.
only early architect
Yes.
that really matters.
Yep.
Yes.
It's right next to the YMCA.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
sort of oddly situated. Springfield is home to many museums. One of these, located at 629 South 7th Street, is called the Grand Army of the Republic Memorial Museum, and it honors veterans of which conflict?
Civil War.
Civil
I
War.
thought it was the Clone Wars. Star Wars has had a remarkable impact on this show.
You know, with that mask on, he kind of is a sort of a young Jedi look to him, don't you
Yes,
think?
he does.
okay.
That's They didn't wear masks.
Come to the
They
dark
did
side.
when they went to the dark side.
Well,
but
then they're
Come
not
to the dark
Jedi.
side. We
Yeah.
have the respirators. In Springfield's historic Washington Park, this is the last question, which is only about a block from where the writer of these questions lived, is a famous structure that attracts visitors from all over the world. It can be a bit noisy at times, which is a hint. What is it?
Yeah, it's a bell tower. I forget the name of it. What's
It is a bell tower, and
Yeah.
it's called a carillon.
a carillon? A carillon.
Carillon.
That's
Yes,
it.
there's one in Centralia as well.
Yes, there is. They have. You can play a carillon. I mean, there's a way to play it, and it'd probably play this this music going out.
You can play a carol on the carillon.
Yeah. All right. Hey, thanks both of you very much, and we'll be back on Monday. Thanks. Take care. Alexa, play WFIW.
It's time for classic hits from WFIW.
all the important news here first. This is WFIW FM Fairfield, the station listened to